Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Ghoul MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, and we are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he shows up, great. If he doesn't, then we'll see him on Saturday. But here we go. We're going to start off per the usual with NXT, and then follow it up with AEW. NXT started off with the NXT Tag Team Title fight as it was the family going up against the Dyad. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout, 13 minutes and 24 seconds, and still the NXT Tag Team Champions, Tony D'Angelo, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, the family successfully defends the titles in what was I have to say probably one of the top fights of the night. Excellent matchup. I'd probably say about three and a half stars. Yes, there was a little bit of an overbooked finish because you had the men with those masks coming out. But if you notice, two guys jumped over the wall and attacked, and one of the moves looked very familiar. Something that, I don't know, possibly was a finishing move of a certain tag team that's no longer in NXT. I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna leave that there. I know Anthony Florio will have plenty to say about it. Um, but whatever the case may be, solid opener, pretty good fight. Anthony Florio, the champions remain the champions.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. It was a predictable bout from open to close. The Creeds were always going to be two of the men under the yellow mask who cost the Dyad another big opportunity. The action was solid. Fowler and Reed remained very good at tag team wrestling, unsurprisingly. The Don and Channing Stacks Lorenzo get better together in each match, but the distractions took away from the focus inside the ring. Hopefully, the Schism Diamond Mine feud will finally reach its ending soon, but the family do need more tag teams to step up to them. Masked men at ringside protected the Dyad whenever the heels headed outside for a breather. There were even more in the crowd. And then Reed knocked Stacks off the apron onto the announce table, and the snap of the impact sounded bad. Luckily, he looked fine after the commercial break. But it was a good match, yes, but predictable outcome. I mean, that's all I can say about that. And yes, how do you not know it's the Creeds? How do you not know that? I mean, there's no doubt it's them, and it's leading to something. Maybe not a heat wave next week. Maybe no mercy. I don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But for right now, I can give this 3.25 to 3.5 stars. One of the fights of the night for sure. I agree with you on that. So with all that being said, MF, let's move on to our next match, women's action. And this is an MF special here because these two young ladies are two of your personal favorites. So it's only fitting that you set it up.
All right, and yeah, that match that Anthony Flo is alluding to right now was Dana Brooke going one-on-one with Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport winning the match in 3 minutes and 39 seconds. Anthony, a quick thought.
Yeah, it started out fine, but ended with a near disastrous series of miscues between the wrestlers. They were not on the same page before Blair Davenport forcibly pushed her way to the finish. Dana Brooke is trying too hard to sell this turn to the dark side. The overacting is already too forced, even before her inevitable heel turn. NXT is giving her a platform to rebuild herself, but it just hasn't worked out yet. Davenport picked up her second needed victory in as many weeks, which would quickly set her up as a title contender despite her loss to Roxanne Perez at the Great American Bash there. The NXT universe was more favorable to Dana Brooke than usual, but still louder for Blair Davenport in dueling chants. Brooke got angry after a big sit-out powerbomb could not win it. She then planted Davenport with a running lariat. And then Dana Brooke went for the ring bell, but Kaylani Jordan stopped her. And when Brooke got back in the ring, she ducked Blair Davenport and caught her with an awkward pin attempt. So, 1.5. That's all I can give it. So, there isn't much more to say. MF, Blair Davenport definitely starting to get some momentum back after that tough loss to Roxanne Perez at the Great American Bash.
She needed a dominant win. She needed a good win, and she got it. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, Dana Brooke, like you said, over a little bit over committing, a little too much in the action. Love her to death. I think she's great, but she just needs a little something. I don't know. She's just there's just something missing from her. But we'll see what happens. It was still a fine match. Big win for Blair. And now we move on. Trick Williams versus Drew Gulak. Trick Williams winning the match in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Look, another good win, another fine match, another 1.5. But the thing is, Trick needed the win, and that's exactly what he needed. Now he got something leading up to Ilya Dragunov. I know they still want to play this story between Dragunov and Williams. Look, Dragunov can wrestle anybody and make it a great match. Dragunov is that good. Trick is still green around the grass on certain areas. And if NXT is a developmental company, as they claim it is, this guy needs to be there for a long time. I heard rumors about them calling him up to the main roster. Guys, he's not ready. He's nowhere close to being a main roster guy. If you're going to use him, maybe as a manager, but not as a star, not as a wrestler. I don't see it with Trick Williams. I think he still needs a lot of work. And I know there's rumors about him possibly going to the main roster to be a member of the new Hurt Business with Bobby Lashley, with the Street Profits. But trust me, guys, and let me say this bold statement. The guy's not ready. He hasn't proven to me anything and should not be called up yet. Carmelo Hayes is ready. He's big time. He's a star. He'll flourish in the main roster. Trick is not there. Not ready. Florio, it's yours.
Fairly dominant win despite the potential distractions at ringside. It was just what Trick Williams needed ahead of an important match with Ilya Dragunov. While he is an obvious star, Trick still needs to show he can work at a high level without Carmelo Hayes in his corner. This was a chance for him to show a few of the big moves in his arsenal, but Heatwave will be the major decider. Trick caught Gulak with a clean dropkick and uppercut to show his striking potential, and later the Mad Dragon, he gave Trick Williams a very stern warning, and he warned him. He warned Trick that he still was not ready for Dragunov. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. But another 1.5, yes, absolutely. But if anybody can get a good match out of Trick Williams, I do believe Ilya Dragunov can be that guy. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next week at Heatwave. But this was 1.5, another fight. So with all that, MF, let's continue on.
Wesley goes up against Dijak, the winner. Gets an opportunity at the NXT Championship next week at Heatwave, and it will be Wesley. He wins it 12 minutes and 13 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
I got to call Fight of the Night on this one.
Agreed.
3.5 stars. The WWE has magic with Wesley and Dijak. They never miss. This was physical and intense. Both men sold their battle wounds to set up big moments of vulnerability. The Eddie Thorpe interference took some of the momentum of the match, but not enough to take away from what the two did up to that point. Hopefully, Hard Justice Dijak will get his own chance in the sun after his feud with Eddie Thorpe is over. He remains one of NXT's most underrated performers. Wesley winning sets up a money match. It is important that this is not one and done, as this is a story that deserves a spotlight. Heatwave is not a big enough stage, especially with only 1 week of hype. In a pre-tape promo, Eddie Thorpe promised Dijak they would fight again. During a picture signing, Wes Lee warned Carmelo Hayes to worry about him as the next challenger. Dijak gave him a similar warning later. Lee targeted the left leg of Dijak, charging at his knee and twisting it in the corner. This remained a target throughout the match. And Wes Lee managed to powerbomb Dijak, then plant him with a meteor for a near fall. And the former North American champion went for the cardiac kick, but his leg gave out. Dijak went for Feast Your Eyes, and his own leg gave out on him. Solid 3.5 stars. I would have given it 3 3/4, but the little distraction there kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But still 3.5 stars. I thought this was the fight of the night, so not much more to say here. MF, Wes Lee, Carmelo Hayes, NXT Championship, Heat Wave, Show Stealer.
Yeah, I'll openly admit that I agree with that sentiment as well, and it was an amazing match. 3.5 is the correct rating. It is the fight of the night officially. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. Then we had Joe Coffey versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate apparently gets the win by a disqualification in 4-4 because Dabba-Kato showed up. Whoa! So I mean, I look, fine match. I don't kind of understand the Dabba-Kato interference, but I mean, Dabba-Kato wanted to pick a fight. He went after the big strong boy, and yeah, that did not end up pretty well. But it is what it is. So then after that, Thea Hale versus JC Jane. JC Jane versus Thea Hale. JC Jane wins in 4:39. Look, another all right matchup. You can see the writings on the wall. It looks like Thea Hale is about to go into a possible heel turn or something like that. She's really mad. Like, she still kind of feels like she got shafted after Andre Chase threw in the towel, costing her the fight. And you even notice in one of the matches about a week, I want to say it was a week ago, she tried to throw in the towel on the behalf of Andre Chase during the match against Baron Corbin, and Corbin caught it and tossed it right back at her, and she stormed out of the arena. So, like, you could tell, look, she's 19 years old, and the immaturity is showing. I think she kind of felt like she had an opportunity there, and she felt like with Andre Chase doing what he did, she feels like, you cost me the title. I had an opportunity to win. I could beat Tiffany Stratton. Why did you do that? And she's like, I love the storyline that they're doing with her, and they're doing great character development with her by basically she's second guessing everything in her head. Somebody needs to get in it to her and tell her, look, get the aggression out, get whatever you need to get out, because she's hit a slump, man. Anthony Florio, JC Jane gets a big win. She needed that win. But for Thea, man, it's been, in the immortal words of the legendary Dusty Rhodes, it's been hard time for the sister.
What was that time of the fall again?
4.
Yeah, you hit them.
4:39.
4:39. All right. It was a long but uninvolved match, going significantly longer than it probably needed to. There was nothing offensive here, but JC Jane's standing has fallen too much to get this much offense without adding more moves to her arsenal. Thea Hale has lost some of her spark as well since losing to Tiffany Stratton. Her overacting needs to tone down if she wants to be taken seriously. And backstage, Andre Chase could not get on the same page as Thea Hale, and Duke Hudson just sat on the fence. Thea Hale nearly got the win off a springboard senton and then locked in the Kimura lock. JC Jane got to the ropes quickly to escape. Commentary sold this match like JC Jane was the underdog, which should not be true given the history of both. And that's all that really stood out here. So 2.5. I think that's the best I could give this. So move on.
It was a main event segment. It was Carmelo Hayes and Wes Lee, and Anthony, it's yours.
It was rushed, but Mello and Lee brought everything they could to these last promos before Heat Wave. While the A champion always has solid zingers, Lee's determination was clear. Despite the build selling Wes Lee as the heel, this exchange ended with the challenger sounding like the babyface. That will not stop the crowd chanting for Mello, though. This will be a great match, but is it the right time? Wes Lee is the rare man in NXT that could legitimately dethrone Mello, but it probably won't happen at Heatwave. It may happen in a rematch at No Mercy if it happens. Wes Lee stole the table from Carmelo Hayes' picture signing and dragged it to the ring, demanding the champion see him in the ring. Wes Lee called himself his own biggest doubter, but he refused to fail again. And after the contract was signed, Wes Lee stomped straight through the table. There's no doubt about it. This was hands down the segment of the night, not even close. So, great build. I mean, yeah, you only had a week to build it, but fairly decent, solid job, I'd say, MF. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, solid job. Good promos by both men. I thought they did an all right job. I don't think there was anything bad. So yeah, incredible and really nothing bad to say. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add, and we'll see how this plays out. So overall, not bad of an NXT. I'm not gonna say back to reality, but I mean, there was more good than bad. It felt a little rushed in certain areas. It felt free flowing in others. Like I said, it was not bad. I'm not going to call it anything negative. I thought they did a decent job with it. So I'll give it about maybe 6.5 to 7 is my rating. So Anthony, it's yours.
6.5 to 7. It was a building show. The action was not outstanding beyond Wes Lee versus Dijak, and that is an inevitable great match, no matter when it happens. However, the stories continue to advance forward toward Heatwave. The card NXT has put together for it looks good and it highlights fresh talent. If what NXT has built pays off at Heatwave, that could be a true breakout night for NXT. The show continues to rise in the ratings, aided by the presence of North American champion Dominic Mysterio and Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, who will be back in the building next week as they team up to take on Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria in a mixed tag. NXT must be ready to go big. Let the rising stars shine and create moments that can last to No Mercy and beyond. That is the legacy of this night, setting the stage for greater heights to come. Sprinkle a phenomenal Mustafa Ali promo on top because that should not be forgotten. So, 6.5 to 7. I 100% agree with everything MF just said. So, with that, MF, we move on to AEW Dynamite Fight for the Fallen, the Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee, the home of the Nashville Predators. All proceeds of this show going towards everybody affected by the tragedy in Maui, Hawaii.
Yeah, the wildfires that's been raging on for a little bit. On the behalf of myself, Anthony Florio, and I know Michael Bullock and Dee Woodson would also want to spread this. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Hawaii. It started with a very horrific fire. It's displaced quite a few people in that island. There's been a few deaths that's been reported up to this point. And I gotta give props to AEW for saying that they're donating this. And if you want to donate or even help, the Red Cross actually has put up a hotline right now that and you could text it or you can go online that any donation that you make will be matched dollar for dollar by the Red Cross. I think it's like for $10, a $10 donation is what they're asking, $5 or $10. Please go out of your way, do it. I think I'll have Anthony Florio provide the link. When we make our announcements on Facebook, and we'll set it through all the social media sites. I'll try to grab it so that Anthony can provide it so that you guys can do your part. Donate what you can via the American Red Cross right now, and do that. Like I said, there's going to be some people that's really going to need some help, and you know what? Whenever there's a natural disaster, I've seen incredible humanity from a lot of people. So hopefully you guys do it again, represent, and yeah. So props to AEW for doing what they did tonight. All right. So with that said, let's start it off. Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta for the International Championship. And it was Orange Cassidy winning the match in 11 minutes and 45 seconds. Solid opener, good fight, great battle. Wheeler and Orange did very well in this. And with everything that went down, then you saw Blackpool Combat Club come out. They tried to beat up. A whole brawl broke out. Then we had Lucha Bros come back. Yeah, they came back from Mexico. They just did Triple Mania. So they came back just in time. And then, just when it looked like the Combat Club was going to get the upper hand, here comes Eddie Kingston by way from Japan because he was at the G1 Climax tournament doing that. And he came back and we got ourselves a stadium stampede brawl, and it's gonna be done in Wembley. Oh Lord, are you kidding me? All right, well, we'll see how this plays out, but Blackpool Combat Club and three mystery partners versus the best friends, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Orange Cassidy. Then you also got the Lucha Bros and Eddie Kingston. Who is going to be that final three, though? Who are they going to get? Blackpool Combat Club. Who are they going to pull?
Can't wait to find out.
We'll find out. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see who they get. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, I think we can rule out Pac after Pac walked out on him at Blood and Guts. So I think we can rule him out. But we'll find out. Had this match taken place 12 to 18 months ago, it would have been completely different. They would have been going for comedy spots and cheap pops. But instead, this is a great showing between two guys who have continued to learn, grow, and advance their characters. Wheeler Yuta showed off all of the aggression he has developed since joining up with the Blackpool Combat Club, while Orange Cassidy continued to show why he has been one of AEW's hottest stars for the last few years. Their unique styles meshed well to create a fun performance. And MF, you brought up all the interference there. Mox and Claudio came out to watch the action, and as soon as Orange won, they pounced on him and beat him down. And then Best Friends ran down to make the save, but were also taken down. And that brought out the Lucha Bros to go after the BCC. And then Eddie Kingston made his return to AEW, went right after Claudio. As soon as he arrived, the crowd was going nuts for the Mad King as he grabbed the mic and challenged the BCC to a 12-man Stadium Stampede tag team matchup at All In. The growth of Wheeler Yuta as a performer since joining the BCC has been incredible to watch. He went from being a bland technician to a highlight of any show he appears on. When Orange Cassidy stops the mind games and just wrestles, he is still just as much fun to watch. And some of the chops both men hit sounded and looked very stiff. A solid 3.5 stars to start this thing off, and it's one of my fights of the night for sure. You can make an argument for fight of the night if you wanted to, but now let's keep something in mind here. We've only seen a handful of Stadium Stampede matches, and if I recall, they were inside TIAA Bank Stadium in Jacksonville with no fans in attendance.
Yes.
It looks like this time we're only going to have the biggest crowd in AEW history in one of the most iconic stadiums in the world, Wembley Stadium. Not the old Wembley, not the old school Wembley Stadium that we all remember from SummerSlam 92. Oh, no. This thing has undergone a hell of a transformation over the last 30 or so years. It is a modern palace now with a roof and everything. I mean, Jacksonville was one thing. But MF, a 12-man Stadium Stampede match in Wembley, in front of a full house.
Yeah, they
Ooh,
call it the cathedral of soccer or the cathedral of football, uh, Wembley Stadium, and yeah, this is because, like you said, the other times that they did Stadium Stampede, they never had the arena. Uh, there was no fans. This time, there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of fans for this fight, and this is gonna be wild because. And the thing is, if you think about it, the first couple of Stadium Stampedes were kind of comedy based. They were there because there was some actual wrestling, but a lot of the times the match was really more comedy based. It was more ha ha, hijinks in certain points of the fight. So this is actually pure. We're gonna get some pure violence in this one,
yeah,
especially with the likes of Moxley and Kingston. There's gonna be some violence in this fight. There's gonna be some bad. Somebody's going to get hurt.
I heard that.
Somebody's going to get hurt in this fight.
Correction. Everybody's gonna get hurt in this match.
Yeah.
Not somebody. No, no. Everybody. I'll tell you that right now. To make it out of that match in one piece would be a victory in itself.
Mm.
So, my God, man. I mean, for the longest time, we were wondering, when are they going to start building this thing up? When are they going to start building this thing up? Well, now they're finally building it up, and you just gave us a match. I mean, we knew the car was looking great already on paper before this announcement, but you add this to it, oh, excitement level just goes up sky high. So, my God, I cannot wait to see that. I mean, if you thought that the Stadium Stampedes in Jacksonville were fun, this is going to be even more so. And I'm here for it. We're all here for it. So, 3.5 stars, a fight of the night contender for sure. So with all that, MF, next relevant thing.
All right. After that, let's see. Then we had Darby Allin and Nick Wayne versus the Gates of Agony. It was Darby Allin and Nick Wayne winning the match, and they won in 7 minutes and 42 seconds. After that match, there was a little bit of a. It looked like they were going to do a beatdown segment, AR Fox and Swerve, but then Sting appeared, and Sting basically he kidnapped Prince Nana, and basically said that, you know what? He, told them what was going to happen because of the match coming up, and he went full Impact Wrestling Sting with the "It's Showtime, folks."
Joker Sting.
Joker Sting is back.
Oh boy.
Yeah, what does that mean? But we'll have to wait and see. So after that, another segment between Adam Cole and MJF. We'll just leave that as is. Next actual wrestling match that we had was Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Jarrett in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Death Match. Jeff Jarrett wins the match. Yeah, he wins the match. I guess there was no time of the fall for this, so I don't even think this is an official AEW match, so that's why they didn't put a fall on this. But Jarrett wins, but it was overbooked. So much interference, so much craziness in the fight. It was bloody as hell. They even had a dude that looked like Leatherface coming out for this match. What the hell? I mean, bizarre fight, yes. Good match, yeah, you can say that. I think the overbook does hurt it a little bit. But Jarrett winning the match, actually, I'm not surprised that he won it either. I kind of would have said that I would have had Jarrett winning anyway going into this. So, I mean, it was fine for what it was worth. There wasn't anything too remarkable. Anthony, I'll give it to you. I'll give this about maybe 2.5 to 3. It's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3. It started out as pure mayhem, and the longer it went, the harder it was to tell what was going on, especially during the picture-in-picture break. It felt like this wasn't fully planned out at times, so there were awkward moments when it felt like people were waiting for something to happen. The final segment in the ring with the tables and everyone involved was entertaining, so the match was bookended by the best parts. Somebody came out dressed as Leatherface, but instead of helping Jeff Jarrett, he chased Karen Jarrett away with the chainsaw. Satnam Singh and Jay Lethal attacked Jeff Hardy and allowed Jeff Jarrett to cover him for the win. Jeff Hardy will always have a special connection to the crowd. The fake blood didn't really add anything to what we saw, but Jeff's white outfit definitely made it pop. Jeff Hardy's outfit, that is. And the table didn't break right away when Jeff Hardy hit the swanton. That must have been painful for Jeff Jarrett. But 2.5 to 3, that's the best we could give it. I 100% agree with the rating. Fun little spectacle match, though. So, not much more to say, MF. Move on.
Dr. Britt Baker goes up against the Bunny, and Dr. Britt Baker has punched her ticket to London. She's going to Wembley. She will be a part of the Fatal 4-Way, and now the field is complete. Anthony Florio, we kind of had a feeling the Doctor was going to get there, but now she does join Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, and Saraya for the Fatal 4-Way at All In.
You have a time of the fall?
7:25.
2.5, 2 3/4. A Tony special here because these are two of my personal favorite women in AEW. I love them both. Predictable outcome, without a doubt. Penelope Ford was at ringside with the Bunny and helped her friend get the upper hand during the break by attacking DMD while the ref was distracted. Britt made the comeback when we returned from the commercial and then was able to score a win to earn the spot at All In. Solid encounter that probably didn't need the outside interference, especially since it happened during the break when fewer people are watching. Nobody in AEW is as good as the Bunny at doing the I'm insane face. And this year's Fight for the Fallen show, yeah, we mentioned about the Maui wildfires, and Excalibur during that plugged all the information during the match on how people can donate. So nice plug there. So 2.5, 2 3/4 stars match here. Predictable outcome. We all knew Britt was going to win this, especially given the field going in. So let's set the table. Toni Storm qualified. Well, she didn't have to qualify. She automatically got in the match. Yeah. They gave her a bye. Hikaru Shida was the champion and successfully defended the title against Anna Jay a week ago on Dynamite. And then Saraya qualified by knocking off Sky Blue last Friday on Rampage. And now you can add the good doctor, Britt Baker, DMD, to that fold with her victory over the Bunny here tonight. So table is now set. We got the 4. Saraya, the only one of the 4 to have never been the AEW Women's Champion. The other 3 all have. So we'll wait and see what happens. So 2.5, 2 3/4. So I believe it's main event time.
It is indeed main event time. The Young Bucks versus the Guns. Bucks wins in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. Solid match. I mean, pretty good main event. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but Bullet Club Gold try to get involved. FTR making the save on them because they want the Bucks to be at 100% when they fight them at All In London at Wembley. So fine main event. I'll probably say about 3. Anthony, it's yours.
Solid 3, teetering on 3 1/4. The Guns have grown so much over the last year, and this match really highlighted all of the ways they have improved. They have a level of smoothness that only comes from being comfortable in the ring. This match and Orange Cassidy versus Wheeler Yuta were the 2 biggest highlights from tonight's show. The Young Bucks have a specific style of wrestling, and if you are into that, you likely came away from this with a smile on your face. Austin and Colton Gunn put up a good fight, but they were not up to the challenge of beating the former tag champs. After preventing the Guns from cheating, the Bucks used the same tactic to score the win. Juice Robinson and Jay White immediately attacked the winners, and then FTR showed up to take out the Bang Bang Gang and help their opponents for All In clear the ring. The show ended with FTR and the Bucks having a standoff. And Austin and Colton Gunn, they've been hitting the gym, man. They look in great shape. And it's always surprising when AEW gives up the chance to have the Young Bucks make their usual entrance because the crowd loves it so much. But 3.25. That's the best I can go. It kind of had the feel of a Rampage main event, to be honest with you. Not really a Dynamite main event, but it was really more about the post match more than anything else. So with that overall review here, nobody is going to say that tonight's episode was the best, but it definitely had enough to keep the average fans invested throughout most of the night. Wheeler Yuta and Orange Cassidy put on a fun match to get things going, and the Bucks and the Guns closed the show with an energetic tag team bout. The themed Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match did not exactly live up to the hype, but if you like weird concepts and mayhem, you might get a kick out of it. And the segment with Chris Jericho and Don Callis was also one everyone should take the time to watch, as it helps set up more than one potential match in the coming months. And oh, by the way, all in at Wembley, Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. Whoa. Okay now. Okie dokie now. Okay. So we'll definitely address that sometime next week. But for right now, if I had to put a rating on this, I would probably give this about 7, maybe 7.5 at best. So there isn't much more to say. MF, give us your thoughts, and then we got to set the table for the Big 3 playoffs that kick off on Saturday.
Yeah. All right. I'll say this. Yeah. It is a 7 out of 10. I thought it was an all right show. There was really, like you said, there were certain moments that was really, really good, and then there were certain moments that it just didn't really hit for me. At the end of the day, I think they did all right. So there's really nothing more to add. As Anthony has alluded to, yes, the Big 3, we are now in playoffs, and it is going down at the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. 2 games on the docket, and these are the only 2 that matters. First matchup, it is the number 2 seed and reigning and defending champion Trilogy. They will be going up against the number 3 seed, the Enemies. That will be set at 12 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And then immediately following that game is semifinal number 2 of the Final 4. It is the top seed, best record in the league, former Big 3 champions, the Triplets. They will be going up against the number 4 seed, the team that snuck in at the last, needed some help. They got it via point differential, and that's why they got in. The Ghost Ballers, they got enough. They did enough in the point differential to sneak into the playoffs. They are in. They are the 4th team in. That will be held at 1 o'clock. Both games exclusively on CBS. The game starts at 12. Both games, first game starts at 12, the other one at 1 o'clock. And then there's a celebrity all-star game immediately following the semifinal matches. But I do believe that game will be held on Big3.com. Let me just see just for a second. Just want to make sure that I am correct on that. I just want to see. Yes. So that will be held. So first game's at 1, other games at 2. And then, of course, the all-star game is immediately following the Big 3. So we got the semifinals, and then the all-star game will be after, and that will be exclusively on the Big 3 website, thebig3.com. And then the winners of that game, moves to London. They go to the O2 to play for the Big Three Championship, and that will be a week from now. So, with that said, we're done for the night. Saturday is another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live, AEW Collision. That's the docket at 10:30, hosted by myself. Hopefully, I have Michael Bullock with us, but I definitely will have Anthony Florio at per the usual. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms around the world. And until then, for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. So long, everybody, and we'll see you all on Saturday.
Goodbye.